It starts as a twinge, a tiny ache in your knee, or maybe your fingers feel stiff when you wake up. You blame age, cold weather, maybe an old injury. But what if the real culprit is what's on your plate? Specifically, the cheese you're eating. Yes, cheese. That smooth, melty comfort food in your sandwich, your breakfast bagel, even your salads, might be silently destroying your joints. In this video, we're exposing 3 dangerous cheeses that are linked to joint pain, swelling, and stiffness, and we'll show you healthier alternatives that can ease your pain naturally. We'll also dive into shocking medical studies, overlooked ingredients, and fast food traps most Americans fall into every day without realizing. If you're over 50 and struggling with arthritis, knee pain, or morning stiffness, you cannot afford to miss this. Make sure you stay to the end for safe cheese swaps, daily meal tips, and the #1 anti-inflammatory recipe seniors in Europe are using for better mobility. Let's understand how cheese, especially processed varieties, can harm your joints. The major culprits are saturated fats. These increase LDL cholesterol and promote systemic inflammation. Excess sodium. Too much salt triggers water retention and joint swelling. Preservatives and additives. Many cheeses contain emulsifiers, stabilizers, and colorants that irritate the gut, which is directly linked to autoimmune flare-ups and arthritis. According to the Journal of Inflammation Research, chronic intake of saturated fats can disrupt cartilage cells and accelerate joint degeneration, especially in the knees and hips. And when you add excessive sodium to the mix, it becomes the perfect storm for swelling, stiffness, and long-term joint breakdown. That's why the type of cheese matters. Real, aged cheeses in small portions may not be harmful, but highly processed ones, they're like fuel to the fire. Let's talk about processed cheese slices, the kind wrapped in plastic, often labeled as American cheese. These aren't real cheese. They're industrial food products made from leftover milk proteins, chemicals, and artificial flavor enhancers. The sodium content, sky high. The fat, heavily processed. The nutrients, practically non-existent. You may have seen these slices on your burgers, grilled sandwiches, crackers, but behind that convenience is a serious health threat. A 2018 study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people consuming processed cheese 3 or more times per week had a 38% higher risk of joint inflammation. And trans fats, which are sometimes hidden in these slices, are particularly nasty. They trigger TNF-alpha and IL-6, 2 inflammatory compounds directly linked to arthritis. Also alarming, these products weaken your gut lining, leading to what doctors call leaky gut, which has been strongly linked to autoimmune joint pain. Next up is a sneaky saboteur, cream cheese. It feels soft, innocent, and harmless. But cream cheese is loaded with omega-6 fatty acids that are inflammatory in excess, especially without enough omega-3s to balance them. Most Americans already consume too much omega-6 through processed oils and snacks. Adding cream cheese every morning, you're flooding your system with fuel for inflammation. Also, cream cheese contains virtually no calcium, protein, or vitamin K2, 3 nutrients essential for joint and bone health. A 2020 NIH report links high omega-6 levels to worsen symptoms in people with rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis. And here's something rarely talked about. Cream cheese can disrupt hormonal balance in women after menopause, which directly affects joint flexibility and pain perception. It's especially harmful when combined with high-carb foods like bagels, toast, and pastries, leading to weight gain and more pressure on your joints. Blue cheese is luxurious, tangy, sophisticated. But if you're over 50 and suffer from joint problems, this might be your silent enemy. Blue cheese contains penicillium mold, which can activate inflammatory pathways in sensitive individuals, especially those with weakened immune systems or chronic inflammation. The problem isn't the mold itself, but the way your body responds to it. It can trigger joint flares, stiffness, and autoimmune symptoms, especially in rheumatoid arthritis or fibromyalgia sufferers. Add to that the high saturated fat content, and it becomes a perfect recipe for systemic joint pain. Blue cheese also tends to pair with other inflammatory items, like cured meats, crackers, and wine, creating a combo meal of inflammation. If you felt worse after cheese platters or gourmet meals, this might be the link. Here's the twist. Many people cut cheese at home, but forget about what's hiding in their takeout, fast food, and healthy snacks. Fast food cheeseburgers, processed slices, deli salads, blue cheese crumbles, breakfast wraps, cream cheese fillers, cheese crackers, low-quality cheese powders, frozen meals, emulsified cheeses for texture, and restaurants often use the cheapest bulk cheeses, which are the worst for joint health. Even veggie pizzas are loaded with mozzarella blends that are packed with saturated fat and zero nutrients. That's why reading ingredients, asking questions, and staying aware matters, especially if you're over 50 and want to protect your mobility. Here's the twist. Many people cut cheese at home, but forget about what's hiding in their takeout, fast food, and healthy snacks. Fast food cheeseburgers, processed slices. Cheese doesn't have to be the enemy. It's about choosing clean, anti-inflammatory options. Goat cheese, less lactose, lower saturated fat, easier digestion. Aged Parmesan, high calcium, low moisture, packed with umami. Feta cheese, in brine. Lower fat, probiotic support. Joint safe. Also try homemade spreads using Greek yogurt plus herbs. It mimics cream cheese texture but fights inflammation instead of feeding it. You don't need to quit cheese. Just upgrade it. Need ideas? Try these joint-friendly meals. Breakfast, boiled egg, avocado toast with a dab of Greek yogurt. Lunch, mixed greens with olive oil, quinoa, and goat cheese. Dinner, grilled chicken, steamed veggies, and Parmesan topping. Snack, berries with cinnamon Greek yogurt. Also, stay hydrated and include turmeric, ginger, and omega-3 rich foods like flaxseed or walnuts to naturally reduce inflammation. To recap, cheese can be a blessing or a curse for your joints. The wrong kind leads to pain, stiffness, and inflammation. The right kind adds flavor without the damage. Avoid processed cheese slices, cream cheese, blue cheese. Choose goat cheese, Parmesan, feta in brine. Your health doesn't have to decline with age. It can improve with awareness, food wisdom, and simple swaps. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone silently suffering from joint pain. Together, let's age smarter, not in pain, but with power.